Hey, what's up, fellow traders? I hope you guys had a great day today. And I had to jump on here today because, I had a really, really good day, extraordinary day. And it's not just about trading. However, I'm going to cover the trades we took. Um, but it was what happened in my shadow mentoring session this morning and what my mentee said and how he described what we're doing. And the word he used is uncommon. And if you're familiar with, the term uncommon, it typically means rare, not found, or not experienced often. It also describes something that's extraordinary and remarkable. And he said, look, what we're doing is uncommon. It's just uncommon. We traders don't get to experience something like this often, and it's trading life changing. He said life changing, but I like to say trading life changing because that's what I'm focusing on your trading life. And so going forward, I'm going to use the word uncommon because that's what this is. I don't know of anybody that does this or anybody that gives the time like I give it. So it's totally different than what I used to do back in the day. It's like kind of grew out of it. And what makes this uncommon is I support your success in practice, not theory. That means I'm supporting you while you're doing the job, not after the fact. A lot of you guys will get frustrated. It's like, I had an issue today. I need to talk to you today, and I've got to wait 2 days. Here, all of these issues you run into will come up in our sessions. Each session is different because each day in the market is different. Each moment in the market is different. So, and as we look at the chart and the trades we took today, I'll point that out some more. But that's what makes this uncommon is I'm supporting your trading success in practice, not in theory. And that's very, very important. So that's what makes it uncommon. Also, if you do sign up and what this program, if it doesn't change your trading life, then you get all your money back. And no hard feelings. Because I know I would have given you 1,000% of what I got. So if you're interested, email me, ed@tradingperformancespecialist.com, or you can go on the website, leave me a message. But my email and everything will be in the description of this video. But let's get to what we did this morning. Let's go back. Okay, if you've been with me, I like to identify channels as the market's trading. So coming into our session that started at 8 o'clock, that's when the session that I'm sharing with you started at 8. You can see we've already kind of defined ourselves in a channel. And then a little after 8:30, we started to break out. I don't want to go too far. So once we break out of a channel like this channel pretty much ends because we have claimed or taken out this channel. And that's what happens. This usually happens between 8:30 and say 9:10, 9:15 that we get a breakout or a sell-off going into the market open. So here we coming into the open here and we set, this is the 5-minute opening candle. Now, all my trading career, 90% of it, maybe 95%, I trade off the first 5-minute candle. That gives me my feel for the day. Okay, and that's this 5-minute candle. So we put in the 5-minute candle. Here, this is the break of the opening range low. Now you could be aggressive and take this, but for me, the 50-day is right here. 50 period moving average is sitting right here. I'm not going to take it just yet because I got a feeling that we're going to get hung up here before we start to sell. So I'm going to wait on this. I see S1 is going to be a good first target, and then S2, S3. Now I trade with 5 micros. First target I take 3 off, second target 1 off, third target 1 off. And that's just the way I trade. And this is the target, but it doesn't always get there. Sometimes it'll get the S1 or does this and it stalls out. Doesn't always get the S2. But today we had a pretty good day. This thing just kept going. And we were, all out right here at S3. And it just kept going. I'm like, damn, this thing might go all the way to S4. But what we were looking at was, we were looking at the daily chart at the beginning, and we saw that, hey, we kind of couldn't push into new highs. And based on what it was doing, we thought, hey, we're going to sell off. So I was looking at a potential target, final target today of 4,560, which is right here. And then we had the high of this candle, which is, 40.14. Let's just round it up to 40.15. So we had these levels here that we could use as maybe a final target. But if it took out the low of the previous day, we can still keep coming. And then, here was the last daily pivot that was put in back here. So I'm like, maybe it can get back to this. There is a potential, but it would have to take out the high and the low here, and then we could probably see it keep coming. But, we had this. Very, very good morning. Very good morning. So now we wait and we bounce. Okay, let me take this off. I don't want to put this up yet. So we bounce, reject off of S2. I'm not going to get in until we take out S3. Okay, here's what happened. We sold off between S3 and it bounced, and it didn't close below. It did not close below S3. But here, this candle opened. It tried to push up. It failed. We started showing some good weakness. When this candle closed, that was my entry right there. We could have done an aggressive entry, but I'm more on the conservative type. So we got the conservative entry, waited till this closed, took out the low, got in. First target was S4, and this is what happens a lot in the very first trade. This may happen twice a week, if we're lucky, 3 times a week, but this does not happen all the time that we get a huge sell like this. And usually when we do, it's on the daily chart that looks similar to this, where we've got a big run up and then we get a nice sell day. Kind of like here, big run up, nice sell day to support, big run up. This was a nice sell day if you took it, but it did bounce toward the end of the day. You got to be careful with that. Just like here, we may be bouncing you know, later as we get closer to the close. Just got to be careful with that. But we know when we see a daily chart like that, the potential is there to have a huge day like today. And we took advantage of it. So I did not take the reversal. We did not take the bounce off of this, even though this was great. We were pretty much discussing and slapping fives and enjoying what happened here, because this is a huge move. And then this session was over with at 11. So as we talked about this and we left, we saw that we were putting in a bigger channel. Oh, wait a minute, that's not it. We were putting in a bigger channel. All right. Sorry. We're putting in a bigger channel here between S2 and S4. So we were like, you know, hey, we shouldn't trade here. And this was him, you know, telling me, look, I think we're putting in a channel here that we probably don't need to trade in. It's like, yeah, because this is, I mean, if you're scalping, this is a nice window to scalp. You know, look at from 40.19 to 40, you know, almost 40.40. This is a good scalp. But because we're inside this and we've got inside the Bollinger Band and the 20 is sitting right here, which is the midline in the Bollinger Band, I just don't want to, I don't really mess with that. So here, he said we'll wait to S4 when it takes out S4. Now you could be aggressive, or you could wait until it makes a low and get in. So this was a trade that he took on his own. Emailed me and said I nailed it. We used that the same plan we came up with this morning. Nailed it. Got in, even though it sold off and bounced up a little bit. This is what we talk about, because oftentimes, if you're not careful, if you're not locked in and not really understanding what's happening, you're going to take this trade off. And then you're going to be mad that it sells off, and then you're going to get in down here. Or you're going to try to chase it and it doesn't work out. So, yeah, you feel a little bit of anxiety and pain when this thing bounces back really hard. But then look at what happened. Finally, it breaks down, gets you to your first target. You know, around 39.80. And look at all the way down to 39.60. And we put in this channel right here. Here's another channel. And this is where people lose money. They start trying to chase this, thinking this is going to sell off some more. You stay the hell out of this until we take this channel out. And that's where we are right now. Really, really good. You know, and he's going to take a huge payout tomorrow. On this account, on the accounts that he passed last week, started this week as a pro account. It's gonna, you know, the week started slow, but it's gonna have a hell of a payout. And that's why what we do is uncommon. It's uncommon. So as I said, if you're interested, get with me. My email's gonna be in the description of this video. And I'm positive that I can get you to where you want to be. You know, this is uncommon.